Well, we're back in the ER with Sarah after getting some really good news. Yeah, 1 second and I'll explain everything. All right, so first off, let me try to explain, let me back up a few days. I haven't did an update in a while. So we went to the follow-up appointment for Sarah, the post-op appointment for Sarah, and the pre-operation appointment for Mandy, and scheduled her surgery for just a week or so from now. So that was Tuesday. We went. So in that meeting, they told us, if I mentioned it before, if I didn't, let me tell you the severity and the weight of what that meeting meant. The tumor they removed from Sarah was really rare, and they sent it off for to the lab, to a pathology, get a pathology report of what type tumor it was. The options were one of two things. Either it was this super rare, like crazy rare benign tumor, which, because it's so rare, is definitely not the first thing we thought it was going to be. The second thing was a more common brain, a cancerous tumor, and could mean that on top of VHL, she also had brain cancer. He told us that also was super rare, well, fairly rare, to have VHL and to have brain cancer at the same time, but it was not out of the question. And honestly, it was a shot in the dark that it was even going to be this super rare, one in, I forgot how many, one in a lot of people. It's really rare to even have that type of tumor. So pathology report for Sarah came back. It said it was that super rare tumor. So to give you an idea, only 1 in 40,000 people have VHL, and 1 in, few 100,000 people have this type of tumor, and nobody in history, in recorded history, with VHL has ever had this tumor. So it was literally she's 1 in 7 or 8 billion, however many people are on the planet. There's nobody in recorded history on the planet that's ever had both. So it was kind of oh God, I hope it's that, right? That's the thing we needed it to be, and it was the most rarest thing it could be. Anyway, so that was Tuesday, and Tuesday was a good day, right? And we talked about her surgery. It seemed like a success. They did post scans. Scans looked good. Everything seemed to be in the right track. Everything great. And then we talked about Mandy, and they talked about how her procedure what she's already had done was successful, and they think that every other symptom she's got going on right now are the result of the remaining tumors that they told us that they were planning on getting out. The bummer is that instead of going in to get 1 tumor, now he said we have to get 2 to take care of what's happening with her. So that it's technically 2 surgeries, 2 brain surgeries in 1. It's a really long surgery. Anyway, so there was kind of a bummer there, but we were a bit on cloud 9 for Tuesday in regards to Sarah. You just have to know how much weight that lifted off of us. We were very emotional, honestly. It was very overwhelming Tuesday. Wednesday came, and I guess the high of that, everything's moving in the right direction. We had a good day Wednesday. Seriously, we laughed. I'm working from home right now. I broke out the barbecue. We grilled some burgers and hot dogs. She kind of had a normal day, and it was the first normal day in a while. And Sarah was laughing. I don't know if you don't know my daughter well enough. She's really quiet and around groups. A lot of people don't hear her talk much, but that child is funny. She's got a personality that is out of this world. So we laughed all day long. We cracked jokes, and it was just a great day. Till last night. Last night she began to hurt some, and we were like, okay, she was up moving a lot yesterday. We going back for the post-op visit, right? That was a lot of motion and stuff. It was 2 days with a lot of activity that she may not have been ready for. So, we didn't think much of it. She hurt just a little bit. She took her pain meds and she went to bed. Middle of the night, she wakes up. I say middle of the night, early morning, she wakes up. She's still hurting. It's like 3 in the morning-ish. Mandy gives her some pain meds. And instead of coming back to bed, Mandy decides she's going to sleep on the couch and kind of keep watch because, you know, mommy senses are going off. She's definitely sensing something, right? Her Spider-Man senses are going off. So she sleeps on the couch, and that was like 3 a.m. And sure enough, or no, sorry. She wakes up again at 5 or 5:30-ish, and she takes a Tylenol for pain. I'm trying to remember exactly how this went. And Mandy laid back down on the couch, and then she was awakened at about 7 listening to Sarah vomiting in the bathroom, which... If you want to imagine it, imagine having a migraine headache, like a severe migraine headache, the kind that you have to just go lay down, turn off all the lights, turn off all the sound, and just the simple sound of your heartbeat makes your head pound and hurt. One of those migraine headaches. Imagine that, and then having to vomit while having that. And I'm sure it's much worse than that, but vomiting creates intracranial pressure. Any kind of strain creates that intracranial pressure, and obviously they just did a penetration of her skull, right? It's just, I hate to be that graphic, but it's awful. It's a bad thing. Like, the idea is to not vomit, not strain, nothing, like no coughing, no sneezing, nothing. So she's in there vomiting, and it was just a short period, but it was enough, and it set off a chain reaction of events. She never recovered from that, from the pain, and the pain amplified, and the intracranial pressure amplified throughout the day. And after I was working today, working from home, about lunchtime, we were kind of trying to figure out what to do. We were just kind of assessing. You know, he had told us she was having some pains here and there, and he had explained what the pains were, so we were kind of hashing that back out. Anyway, long story short, I had to jump into a meeting real fast. You know, things didn't seem to be critical at the moment. It was about 12 o'clock. Matter of fact, I was late for that meeting, but it was about 12 o'clock, and I jumped into that meeting, and because I had to do something in the meeting. When that meeting was done, I came back in the living room, and I just seen the look on Mandy's face. I went in there, talked to Sarah myself, kind of did a quick assessment, you know, the dad assessment, and I came out and I said, okay, let's get her ready. We're going to take her to the ER. We're not going to wait another second. Mandy talked me into waiting for a moment. We called. Sure enough, they said, bring her on in. So here we are. So we're back at the ER. Got to the ER. It's like it's the mirror image of Mandy. You know, Mandy went into the ER first, and then, you know, had some crazy stuff go on. They had to drill a hole in her head, and then she had her surgery. When Sarah's had her surgery and after surgery, so they had to do a lumbar, I think it's called a lumbar puncture. I watched them do it. We had to basically help hold her still, where they basically take like a 4-inch needle. They numb it up, but they take a 4-inch needle and they stick it in her lower back and penetrate her spinal area. And with that, it checks the pressure of the fluid on the brain. It's a less invasive way to relieve the spinal fluid pressure off. He said the pressure was high. So when he done that, so now the question is, not really sure what, honestly, he's like, it could be an infection and we just are not picking it up in the blood work, because they did blood work and a CT the moment we walked in the door. So that was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock today. It's 9 o'clock right now. I don't know what time I'll post this to help people have an update. And I apologize, I haven't updated all the positive stuff. We just kind of been on cloud 9 and, you know, just basking in it and taking a win for a moment. But so they admitted her into a room, they loaded her up on antibiotics, and we're waiting on the test results from that spinal fluid to see what's going to happen there. She's actually feeling better. They relieved the pressure off of her. She had developed swelling again. I don't know if you guys remember me mentioning that before. Her face, like, very morbidly swelled and went crazy. It didn't get that bad to this time, but it was on its way, and they relieved the pressure. They got her elevated, and yeah, don't know. We don't know what's happening. We just don't know. I want to say there was a direction that I could say, I hope we go there, so pray for that. Just continue to pray for Sarah, and pray for Mandy too, because like she's a hot mess. We're all a hot mess right now. But I have to leave. Like, the only one person can stay the night. They're being great. I could come back as a visitor tomorrow, but I can't stay the night. What else? So yeah, just continue to pray, and sorry this is as long as 10 minutes or better. Continue to pray for Sarah, and I'll update you the best I know how through this. So thanks, guys. Love you.